But anyway, in traveling around India and keeping my wits about me, I became very, very sinful. And if those of you who follow me fairly closely know that I am no friend of the guru racket. That I think if what we're out for is self-empowerment and increasing our own self-authenticity, then the first step in the process is not to give over your loyalty to some beady-eyed weasel from Bengal. And I went to these guys. I was open-minded. I took yoga very seriously. I practiced it. I studied Hindu metaphysics. The reason I was most in Asia the longest was to study the Tibetan language. And so I was not a know-nothing physician. But I always said the same question. What can you show me? And the best thing nobody could ever show me really anything. I said, well, you're obsessed with materialistic effects. That's right, Uncle. And you don't have any, I'll be moving on. Because, they had the idea that I would like to sweep the ashram courtyard for a few years before they laid on the skinny. And the other thing was I noticed that, these guys were as dedicated to smoking hash as I was, which clued me that they couldn't have cornered the market on transcendental consciousness too thoroughly. And so, the most impressive thing I ever saw, and I respect the Mahayana tradition very much. I think it's a deep psychological insight into what humanness is. But I don't think they have a doorway into hyperspace. I don't think anybody has a doorway into hyperspace except psychedelic shamans, whether they live in Redondo Beach or Pucallpa or Central Africa. But so then I realized that these traditions were simply that. They were vitiated traditions. And that all of this talk about paranormal abilities could be traced back to earlier strata. And the earlier strata always had the same word written on it, shamanism. That was it. The pre-Buddhist religion of Tibet, shamanism. The roots of Taoism, shamanism. The roots of the Vedic civilization, shamanism. The ancient Hebrew civilization, arising out of shamanism, so forth and so on. So then I said, well, where in the world is shamanism happening today? Well, the answer is many places, but in its most authentic and intense form, it's happening in the Amazon basin. And it is based on the use of plants, to which an almost symbiotic relationship has been formed. And as quickly as I could arrange it, and my brother's thinking was evolving along these same lines, we found our way to South America. And went to Pucallpa, went to Iquitos, went to Puerto Leguizamo in southern Colombia. And there, the same challenge that had caused so much discomfort to the yogins and the bhikshus and the bhikshunis and the geishas and the roshis and the rishis didn't seem to bother these cats. I said, what can you show me? And he said, well, look, let me put an edge on my machete and we'll go out here half a mile and cut some vine and brew it up. And then I've got this other plant growing in my dooryard, and my grandfather showed me how to do this, and we'll just put it together. And there it was. The thing which is our birthright as a species, but which the powers of profane secularism would deny us. I mean, some of you may have heard me say yesterday, it's very clear. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, that doesn't, we've interpreted that to mean the right to run over the other guy on the way to getting your claws on your third Mercedes. really is. The untrammeled permission which we have given capitalism to cheapen our values is not what the notion of the pursuit of happiness means. It means the pursuit of existential authenticity, means the pursuit of meaning in the world.